Shalloners. I'm sorry, I'm like, my camera's upside down, so I'm looking always at the wrong camera now. Oh, shoot. Okay. Hi, guys. We're going to wait until a few more people join. Let me just get the camera adjusted. Oh, you can see my like messy room in the background. That's great. That's great. Give it a few minutes. Hi, guys. Let me get some of the questions ready. Okay. We have some good questions to talk about today. I'm sorry. I'm so used to looking over here and the camera's over here now, so it looks like I'm just looking off into space, but this is also my good side. Like, you'll never see me from this side. I have a weak jaw. I hate it. Okay, so we'll wait till we get to like, 200 people or something, and then we'll kick it off. All right. So what we're going to do here today is answer some of the questions you guys submitted on the GoFundMe page for a homeless mama in Atlanta named Sherry Lewis. She has got 3 adorable kids, all very young. They're like 5, 6, and 7. And she recently became homeless because she lost her benefits. And she lost her benefits because she was making too much money. Too much money. She was working at Popeyes making biscuits. But this is how benefits will work a lot of the times. Like, you can make just enough going to work that the government decides, well, you don't need any benefits now. But here's the thing. You go to work, who's going to watch your kids? And are they going to watch them for free? Like, probably not. So the money you spend on childcare negates your salary. And so you're like, okay, well, wait a minute. I could stay home with my children and collect benefits, or I could go to work and use all of that money to pay for a babysitter. The net profit, like the net money, is not worth it to work. And so we see a lot of people who are poor and living below the poverty line who aren't working, and it's like, get a job. It's like it's not better to get a job. And then, you get out of that career loop and it's very hard to get back in. Very few people just don't want to do anything with their lives. Obviously, there's a sector of the population who's like that, but this is not Miss Sherry's standpoint. Like, she really wants to get back on her feet. She's currently living in a motel in Lithonia, Georgia. And through this fundraiser, we have made enough money to pay for the rest of the month there. And a month in a 1-bedroom motel is over $1,300. And that's when I whittled the price down. And it's like, that's an insane amount of money. Like, in Lithonia, Georgia, that's like rent in a big city. You know what I mean? So this is also where poor people get screwed double, because they're paying more when they have so much less, So now the next goal is we've bought a little bit of time now that she's not going to be out on the street on December 3rd like we thought today. You guys made that happen. Like, this lady and her children has a roof over her head because of you guys. So now the goal is to get her into permanent housing. So I've been looking at some programs down there and some housing options and seeing what she can afford. But if we can raise $5,000, we can get her a down payment on an apartment. We can get her some like beds for her children to sleep on, so they're not sleeping in the sink. And it will buy her a little bit of breathing room so that she can like get back on benefits, save a little bit of money, and have a little bit of a cushion so that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Because homelessness and poverty, what it is inelasticity. Like, can I please work on voice? I don't know what that means. Like my voice? I don't know. Like, my voice is what it is. It's like chicken voice. But poverty is inelasticity. Like, I thought about how many stupid and deliberate decisions I would have to make to end up homeless. I would have to get fired from every job. I would have to alienate every single one of my friends and my family. I would have to probably pick up a drug habit or something. A lot of people, that's what they're dealing with. There would be like many, many, many steps. A lot of people, they become homeless, and I know this because I volunteered for a homeless charity in New York called the Doe Fund, and I would ask all the people there, like, how did this happen to you? Tell me your story. And I was expecting like crazy tales. I was a bank robber and a coke addict. And they're like, I went out with my coworker. I was a security guard. I went out after work, and I had one beer too many, and I slept through my alarm, and I was 10 minutes late, and I got fired. That's it. Like, that's it. I have always enjoyed a job where it's like, you can roll in late, they're not going to fire you. And even if they do, you have a family, you have friends, like, there's going to have to be a lot that happens until you are on the street. A lot of people don't have that. They don't have family who's willing to take them in, or family at all. So it's really important that we keep that in mind when we help people, and when we see people struggling, we don't approach them from the spirit of like, well, you're just lazy. Bitch, I'm lazy. Are you kidding? They're just gonna use like this for like drugs and alcohol. Like, that's what I use my money for a lot of times. And people still keep giving it to me, you know? Yeah. Oh my God, your roommate didn't pay rent and the landlord is now threatening eviction. I will punch her in the face if you want me to. I'll cyberbully her. You want me to cyberbully her? I will. I absolutely will. Okay, let's get into it. So, the too long didn't read is, I've been asking you guys to donate to the GoFundMe I set up for Miss Sherry. And for a donation of $25 or more, you can submit a question in the comment section. Like when you donate, there's a little box that lets you write in like why I donated. So we're going to be going through these questions. I'm going to see how many we can get through in 45 minutes. If we don't get to your question, I'm going to answer it all privately, like on here on the website. And this live stream is going to live on my channel, so you can check back on the advice, and we're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so and some of these I'm just going to condense, you know. My secret for perfect skin, I don't know. I don't have perfect skin. I have like the worst. I feel like I have like such splotchy skin, and it's like I look in the mirror here at home, and I'm like, I look so good. And then I get on camera, I'm like I look like this, like a possum, like a red-eyed, rabid possum you'd find under a barbecue cover. Okay. So Madame Satvia, this is what she calls herself because she's a burlesque dancer. Satvia, isn't that so cute? She has a long backstory, but we don't have to go into it. But basically, the TLDR is she's dealing with an ex who essentially kind of like kidnapped her daughter and took him back to Wyoming, where they're from. And that's been, 4 weeks and 3 days. And she's like, I need courage to be a bad bitch. And she said that watching our channel here has been really helpful. And she said, I didn't become Courtney K. I became you, Shallon, mixed with a little bit of Lizzo. Oh, can you imagine if like me and Lizzo created some like asexually replicating super person? That would be amazing. So she said, I've signed up for every benefit possible because she's having financial hardships. Spend 4 hours a day submitting applications. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. Like being homeless and being poor is kind of a full-time job. Like one of my mom's friends, hi Greer, her mom like helps out at a homeless shelter, a day shelter for women. And she's like, it's a huge problem for them to get to like the Social Security office, which is over here, and they have to take a bus. And then the soup kitchen that they're assigned to is there, and the shelter they're assigned to is there. And it's like, you spend all your day just covering just the basics. So it's hard. So basically, I serve them with custody papers, making my house fortress. I have a court date December 18th at 9:30 a.m. So let's all send her good vibes for that. I'm going in with the armor of my community and you. Oh, my real question is, what should I wear? You know what you wear to court? Black. Because you're going to that motherfucker's funeral. You were going to go in there and you're going to body him. You have the law on your side. You have God on your side. You have entourage on your side. There is very few judges on planet Earth who are going to take a baby away from a loving mama. A loving, sober, like stable, sane mama, So don't worry about this. You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this. Yeah, black and red. The color of power. Worked for the Nazis. Okay. Raquel said this question. She's like, I am bi, and I feel like this pattern keeps repeating. Like, I like a girl, and she says, I never kiss people on the first date. I like you so much. I want to go out again. Blah, blah, blah. And then when I made the intention of seeing her again, she kind of ghosted me. Oh, I'm busy. I'll text you next time, blah, blah, blah. She said, this is kind of becoming a pattern for me. A person keeps chasing me until I'm sure I want to be with them. But when I finally stop being cautious and say, yes, I really like you, let's do this, they dip. They drop the ball and say they just want to be friends. It's happened 3 times. I'm completely lost as to why this keeps happening. So I'm bisexual too. I don't even know where to look. Do I look in the camera? I can't. I'm just gonna look straight ahead. I feel crazy. I'm bisexual too, and I don't date girls for this exact reason. And I remember reading a book one time, with men and women, it's either yes or no. And with girls and girls, it's always maybe. And it's very hard to get a relationship off the ground if you're bisexual and you're dealing with another bisexual, because it's like there's always that male, the penis escape hatch. You can pull that escape hatch and it's like, ooh, like as cool as society has comparatively become with gayness and queer identity and stuff like that, there's a long way to go. And it's great when it's other people doing it. But when it's you doing it, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to tell my family I'm dating a girl. I'm gonna have to be out in public with the girl. It's like, maybe I only want to like make out with the girl, but I don't want to go down on a girl. It's just, it's very scary. And I think girls, they get like cold feet. They get cold feet, you know, and it's just, they just run. And this is why I don't do it. This is why I stick to dudes. Like, I don't understand how to date girls. So I think in the female dating part of your life, you're going to encounter this more. So maybe date straight up lesbians. Like, if a girl says she's bi, like a lot of times that means she's experimenting, and like, that's fine, whatever, you know, do whatever you want. But like lesbians have like crossed that bridge. They've been down that road, asked and answered, you know, but like a bi girl is always maybe going to have one foot outside the door and maybe not be gang for like a whole relationship. Like, I know I'm not. I always say I'm a party lesbian. Like, it's fun to hook up with girls. I don't want to date one. Imagine dating yourself. Ugh. I have to live inside my body, in my head all the time. No thanks. So stick to lesbians. Okay. Audra has an issue with a coworker. She said, there's this coworker and I'd love your thoughts. So some background. She's condescending towards me and other people, like asking people if they know the meaning of basic words. She sounds like Angela from The Office. But at the same time, she aggressively tries to be everyone's friend. So it's like she's off-putting and repellent, but she wants to be everyone's friend. So like, what? This was the big data point in her message. She said, when I do talk to her, if I have to, she'll talk your ear off. And she's asked me more than once why I don't like her and asks other weird and inappropriate questions, which I ignore. She likes our other coworker who I'm friends with. And when she tried to tell me her feelings about him, I ignored her because it's awkward, and that's when the condescending behavior towards me really picked up. No matter how much I ignore her, she keeps doing it. What should I do about this, and what am I doing wrong? So you're right to ignore a person like this, because a person like this does not want a friend. She's kind of like I call these people like social terrorists, because they act just with like impunity, and they make no sense at all. You're right. It's like she's mean, but she wants everyone to like her. She doesn't want friends. She wants someone to listen to. She wants power. She wants to be mean and dominant over people. And then, you know, like also have like the power of a friendship, because the big red flag is she talks your ear off if you try to speak to her. It's like she's not interested in a two-way street. So don't feel guilty about ignoring this person. Like, you're not hurting her feelings. You're hurting her power base, her like manipulative ego core. And the way you deal with her is just to keep on ignoring her. You know, people like this, it's like training a dog or a child. They have to know that 100 times out of 100, X behavior gets Y result. And if she's condescending, you either be condescending right the fuck back, because she is going to take your silence sometimes in that context as like a green light. But in all other times, ignore her. She has to associate you with not taking bullshit and not taking the bait. Okay. Oh, brother. Some of these I'm going to have to like go through separately. Okay, Annie said, she donated $50. Thank you so much, Annie. I'm a busy person and a workaholic. I know that when I get into a relationship with someone, my priorities shift and I give too much. I spend less time and money on myself, but focus on bettering them and making them happy. So until I meet a good man that deserves all the benefits that come with my life, I stay single. I go on dinner dates here and there, but no commitment. I meet this guy that's the total opposite of my standards. His history, character, and behaviors indicate a no-go for me, but I'm so attracted to him, even though he's a total bum with no future and doesn't care about a future. Since I was lonely, we established that we're friends. Girl, who in the hell are you trying to fool? We hook up and FaceTime all the time. Oh, but you're just friends? That's weird. I don't go down on Rebecca. I never cease to remind him that any of our friends, that we're just friends, but it also helps remind me not to get attached and throw my sticks. I'm done reading. I'm done reading this question. Okay. You are not friends. Like I said, I don't go down on Becca, Diane, Megan, and Katie. I don't submit questions to dating experts about Becca, Megan, Diane, and Katie, right? You're not friends with this person, and you're never going to be like, we're just friends with someone you're having sex with. No. The reason, and first of all, you say that this guy is the complete opposite of your standards. No, he's not. He is absolutely not the opposite of your standards. You said at the very top of your message, I spend less time and money on myself and focus on bettering them and making them happy. So exactly how is this dude different than that? Sounds the same to me. Maybe the other guys put on this front of like, oh, I'm super ambitious. No, because it sounds like you're dating them. Men should date you. Men take you out to dinner. Men buy you presents. Men better you. You are dating them. You're courting them. You're playing the man to them. And they're like, hoo, 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 I get another free dinner. So this dude is actually just not even bothering to pretend. Because why would he? Look at, based on results, how well that works. He can be a bum, a douchebag, and not offer you any commitment. And then what is his punishment for that? For bad character and poor commitment? He gets his dick sucked all the time. Wow. Oof. Way to stick it to him. You got to get real with yourself, girl. You can lie to me. You can lie to Shallon Lester. Don't lie to yourself. The issue of why this is happening is your low self-esteem, you know? And that maybe is why you're a workaholic. You're keeping yourself so busy because you don't want to be alone with yourself. And when you are okay and you know yourself and you like yourself, you start expecting that kind of treatment from everyone in your life. It's like, how dare you treat me worse than I treat me? I treat myself like a queen. What are you bringing to the table? I am the table. You have a folding card table set up in your studio apartment. No. So the issue here is self-esteem. It's not this guy. I mean, he is obviously an issue. You got to get him out. But yeah, Becky T just said, you got to find yourself before finding anyone else. Perfect. Okay. Oh, Bethany, I donate it because the Shallon stick together. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You guys are so sweet. Literally donating like $5 makes such a difference. And if you guys want to donate now, you can actually just search, you can Google GoFundMe Shallon, and it's the charity Homeless Mom, like help a homeless mama. I had another one, school supplies for underprivileged kids, that we raised $3,000 for. That was amazing. So feel free to keep on donating. Okay. So many of you guys donated and like didn't even ask a question. It was so sweet. Like, that's crazy. Wait a minute. I feel like I'm missing a lot of these. This is definitely not all of them. Sorry, guys. Hold on. See all. What the fuck? Yeah, hold on. Sorry, guys. Talk amongst yourself for a minute. Oh my gosh. Let me go. We're going to desktop, okay? Oh, in the meantime, just want to let you guys know that one of my followers set up a Shalliterature WhatsApp group so that you guys can collab on the book club. I can't believe how irritating. Oh my gosh. Can anything be more irritating than technology right now? Okay. Okay. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me. Okay, we answered that. Oh, okay. My question, Shannon said, my question is about self-sabotage. I do it constantly. I have a theory that I might do it because I don't think I deserve to be happy, but I'm not sure. Do you have any tips for ending the cycle of self-sabotage? This is a really good question. Self-sabotage happens because what our mind wants more than anything is to be right. More than anything. Sorry. It's like live texting me that you guys are donating. Thank you. President Trump, everyone ignore this fucking douchebag on there. We've got a troll in our midst. I shouldn't have even said that. That's all he wants. I wonder what it's like to have a 2-inch penis. Generally, maybe you can tell us. I'm so, oh, you're not a troll, but you didn't say you don't have a 2-inch penis. That's the problem. You were like, no, oh, I'm not a troll. Pathetic. Anyway, self-sabotage. Okay, so the thing that the brain wants more than anything is to be right. So we are going to engineer situations that validate what we believe in our minds, okay? So otherwise, we're laboring in a state of cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance means what is happening does not match what we want to happen. And you think like, well, I always want good things to happen, so why do I self-sabotage? Well, that's a fallacy. We don't always want good things to happen. I mean, like, we do conceptually, like theoretically, of course we do. But when you look at the mind and when you look at psychology and behavioral patterns, I said this before, we don't pull ourselves and fill our lives with what makes us happy. We pull ourselves towards things that feel familiar. And ideally, that does mean happy and healthy. And those are one and the same. That is an overlapping Venn diagram, right? But not all the time. If you grew up with trauma, if you just grew up a human person, like no one gets out alive. You know what I mean? Like no one gets through any part of childhood or anything like that without some complexes to varying degrees. Like no matter how amazing your parents were, like they're just human beings, for God's sakes. They're doing the best they can for the most part. It's difficult. So what is familiar to us might not be what is ultimately the healthiest. Like my mom traveled constantly when I was a kid. She was a flight attendant, and this was like before like FaceTime and cell phones even and all this stuff. So when she was gone, she was like gone, like ghost mode. But then she would come home and it was like the greatest 5 days of my life. Like we would go to symphonies and just museums. It was wonderful. She's an incredible mom. But it was this kind of like feast and famine thing sometimes. And that is something I've mirrored in my relationships. Like just even in the patterns of my life, like I need a lot of alone time. And then I go out and I have like a big night at all these events and I'm glam and I'm talking to all these people. And then I'm like, and I have to like come home and like hibernate for a day or something like that. Same with my relationships. I want to have like an amazing weekend with a guy and then be like, I don't need to talk to you for 4 days. So that's what's familiar to me. And I pull myself towards those situations. So when you self-sabotage, you have to look at what it is you're pulling yourself towards, because that's what sabotage means. It means I am pulling myself to replicate a dynamic or a feeling that is familiar to me, right? And like how is it familiar? Like break down the sabotage, because every sabotage is different, right? So you want to actually break down what that truly means. Do you pick fights? And do you pick fights maybe because it gets you attention? You know, someone's now engaging with you. Do you pick fights because it gets people away from you? Because maybe you need some alone time and you're overwhelmed and you don't know how to deal with it constructively or express your needs. So really quantify what that sabotage means and then look at your life and be like, where else have I felt this? Where else have I seen this? Did I watch my mom do it to my dad? Did I watch my little brother do it to my big sister? Like, where has this played out before and why do I keep coming back here? And of course, it's also an issue of self-worth. Like, I don't think I deserve to be happy. Usually the end of that sentence is because I haven't ever been happy. Or if I was so anxious because I knew it was temporary, because it was temporary when I was 6 years old and I had a great year living in Denver and then we moved and I got bullied. Like there's something about happiness that is very scary to you and it's not a place you want to sit in because it doesn't feel familiar, permanent, restful, or even real. And sometimes happiness doesn't feel real because we don't trust ourselves. And it's like, well, I can't be in this relationship. It's good now, but I can't, I don't trust myself. That's because you don't know yourself. And more importantly, you don't like yourself. Trust comes with knowledge. We understand that about friends. It's like, well, I trust her because I know her. I know her character. She comes through, like she comes over and she says she's going to, she's there for me. We don't bother to take that inventory with ourselves, which is kind of insane, right? It's like, can I trust myself? I don't know. I can trust myself like with taking care of my dog. I can't trust myself around a dessert buffet on a cruise ship, And then when we have that, it's like, well, if I can't trust myself doing that, how can I trust myself in a relationship? So we have to cultivate that trust in micro increments all over. And it's difficult. You guys, please stop responding to this dude with the Confederate flag thing. This is literally all he lives for. And I get that we're sort of like this is for charity, but he's not the charity. Like he can go to some like douchebag Make-A-Wish Foundation thing, but like, okay, let's see if we can just block this person. Okay, he's done. Okay, shadow ban, bye. It's just like so fucking embarrassing. Like, go get a life. I realize I live my life on the internet. I get paid, sweetheart. I get paid. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Oh, Tomine, using some of the money I inherited from my dad, one of the most amazing people I ever knew. He would have supported this. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. Katrina says every family deserves a home, affordable health care, healthy food, and access to education. I hope that during the holidays, we remember that being kind costs nothing. True. Voting is a privilege. Also true. And that not everyone is afforded that privilege. And helping another person is why we're here. Happy holidays. That is so sweet. So, this is like weird. I feel like we kind of like did get through. Okay. Okay. This is a question I'm going to have to answer privately because there is 10,000 words there. All right. Well, you know what? Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Okay. How do you cut toxic friends out of your life and meet new ones in your late 20s? I'm 27. Most of my true good friends live far away. We see each other once in a while. I'm single, but I'm very social. So to make up for the times I can't be with my friends, I developed a friend group from my hometown. I had a lot of fun with this group in my early 20s, but now I'm tired of the fact that a lot of them seem to have matured, seem to have never matured. I was like, you're mad they matured. They never mature. They also live with their parents and work in retail, and literally all they ever want to do is party hard. I've started declining invitations out because I'm just not cut out for constant partying anymore. And now I'm stumped as to how to meet new people. My workplace consists of people in their late 40s or 50s. Any suggestions? So at 27, there is a huge split in people, like in behavioral patterns. And I remember this, and I watched it, and everyone at your age is going through it, like 26, 27, 28, where it's like some people are getting married and they're on their first, sometimes second child, and some people are snorting Adderall down the Jersey Shore. Guess which one I was? And it's hard because there's such an enormous range on this spectrum. Like my boyfriend is almost 27. Well, not really, but 26 max. Ex-boyfriend. And it's like, I expect him to be as fully formative as an adult as I am. Like, this is one of the downsides of dating someone like younger. And it's like, I have to remind myself sometimes, like, I was literally snorting Adderall at the Jersey Shore when I was 27. Like, yeah, I'd written 2 books and I was getting my own MTV show, but like, personally, privately, I was still very much a mess. So, there's people are all over the place, is my point. And I had to make a whole new group of friends at 27, and so many girls I talk to have gone through the same thing, that like that is when like everything flips over. So one thing psychologists say is that every 7 years we go through a huge emotional shift. At 14, we leave behind childhood, right? At 21, we leave behind the teenage years. We start conducting ourselves as a young adult. And at 27, 28, there's another big shift, right? And maybe the people aren't making that shift. Maybe they simply haven't made it yet, but it sounds like you are. So what you're going through is normal, and that is going to help you cut out the sadness of it. It's like, this is tragic and they don't love me. This is how it goes. Some people are in our life for a reason, and if not, they're only in it for a season. I love this quote. It's very like on a mug at Home Goods, but I don't care because it's true. So it becomes very important to make friends with intentionality, right? And you know what I'm gonna say? Hobbies. When we grow up, we're used to having like a clique, a crew, like a big group, a big prom group, a million people in the limo. And as you get older, like it really becomes quality over quantity. Like it is very rare to have a big old clique of friends. I do like the tit friends, like we are our like crew, but it has been 8 years of curating this group, like adding and subtracting. And like, I mean, one thing we all have in common is one of us, 2 of us are married. None of us have kids. Greer has a baby now, but Greer lives far away. But like that is kind of the tie that binds, because that allows us to make each other the priority. And that's difficult because a lot of people, they get married and they're just like, I have my social crew now. It's my husband. I don't need anybody else. Like, we can meet for coffee every few months, or they only hang out with mom friends, or they only hang out with couple friends because they're like, oh, are you? When I had my 27-year-old friendship schism, I got together with my pre-schism friends, and they had gotten married and had kids, and I was like, yeah, I can hang out from 6 to 8, and then I have an event. And they're like, oh, are you still doing that? I was like, am I Am I still doing my life? Yes, I'm still doing my life. Thank you. Are you still doing that husband of yours? That bald ass husband who looks like a thumb? Yeah. Oh. So it's difficult to find common ground, and some people are interested in doing it and some people aren't. So it really helps to get involved in a lot of different things and make your goal talking to one new person a week. Not making best BFFs, just talking to them. A lot of times, the person you start to talk to is only going to be the bridge node. Like, they're going to lead you to someone you actually are going to be friends with. Like, that's how it is in the tit friends. Like, very few of them were first person connections. Some of them were like, we met a friend and then we kind of like cut them out because they were weird or whatever, and they turned a corner, maybe they got married and had a kid or whatever, and we never saw them again. So cast a really wide net. Just because you're not like, I am best friends with this girl in my Pilates class, maybe you're going to be best friends with one of her friends or her neighbor or someone in her other Pilates class. So really keep an open mind, and remember that making friends truly is a marathon. It's not a sprint, and it takes a lot of effort. You don't come into math class and you sit there and you're like, hey, Jenny, you're going to be my new best friend now because we just happen to sit next to each other. Like, so it's tough, but it is the number one question that I get: how to make friends as an adult. So that's the good news and the bad news. Like, that sucks because everyone feels sad about this and it's difficult, but the good news is every single person wants this too. Like, everyone wants to make that connection. So if you see someone you vibe with, you get along with, be like, hey, you know what, do you want to go for coffee after this? I've got like 20 minutes to kill. Like, put it out there, be bold. Because if people are like, no, great bitch, cutting the line, it's like fishing, we're cutting the line, we're moving on, that's fine. You don't need friends, I don't need you. You keep casting that line out again and again, like dating, like job hunting, like getting fit, like doing anything, like going back to school. It takes time and it takes effort and it takes intentionality, but it is very, very possible, right? Ooh, we're gonna start taking questions. How do you get over being jealous of your friends? How do you get over being jealous of your friends? This is a really good thing. And honestly, like, I was thinking about this today because I'm out in California right now and I'm heading back to New York tonight, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to see like Bex, my bestie. And I just had this weird feeling of like, I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her. And I caught myself. I was like, what are you talking about? Yes, you do. She's like literally the only person you ever want to talk to. And I realized I didn't want to see her because I was jealous, because she has been working out and eating right for a year. She has dropped 25 pounds. She is a smoke. I mean, she was a smoke before, believe me. But now she's even more of a smoke show. And I am not dropping 25 pounds. And I feel especially fat right now because I've been on like the Lester eat-a-thon while I've been home. And I'm like, I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her because I'm jealous. And that's a very icky, immature feeling to have to confront, but you have to confront it in order to change it, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And I'm like, okay, Shallon, use this feeling to make yourself better. Don't use it to put a wedge between you and someone you love and who loves you back. And like, because even if you do that, what does that get you? What does that get you? Being mean to someone, dividing yourself, and putting this like us versus them kind of construct there, like, that hurts their feelings. It makes you look like a fucking doofus. So I'm like, okay, I'm booking class pass, boot camp class tomorrow. And I want to remember how this feels. I want to remember being jealous of my best friend, because that's not going to be a setback. That's going to be a set up to a new level. And that's how we have to use jealousy. Jealousy is a teacher, because it means someone has something we want, and 9 times out of 10, we can achieve that in our own lives. We can. Whether it's they live this lifestyle I want. Like, okay, maybe you can't achieve it in the next 2 weeks, but you're like, I want to be where her parents are. Like, I want to be living where I want to be driving that Range Rover. So I'm going to ask her, hey, how do you manage your money? How do you stay motivated? How did you ask for that raise at work? I'm going to find what like is that splinter, and instead of just being like, oh, it hurts, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to use it to level myself up. It's difficult. It's difficult because it means kind of swallowing your pride and being emotionally risky and showing that emotional underbelly and connecting with it, being like, ugh, I don't like this. Oh, some of you guys are donating and sending messages. Okay, let's refresh. Oh my gosh, you guys, we've raised $4,300. If we can get to 5,000, it's going to be so incredible. Okay. Zoe said, hi Zoe. I feel like my life is running away from me. I am constantly trying to lose weight because I don't feel comfortable being sexual until I have, because I hate my body and losing weight isn't happening. Ugh. Zoe, yes. Yes. I feel you. I was thinking the other day, because like, when you come home for Christmas or just Christmas in general, it's a time of reflection and evaluation. And I was thinking how many Christmases I spent feeling fat. And that's my galvanizing memory from those holidays. Not time with my family, not being away from work, connecting with my hometown, seeing friends, not even what I got. It was, I felt fat. I didn't want to come downstairs. I didn't want to take pictures, because the only thing that matters being the little tiny thin girl. I'm like the tiny person putting up light. I'm the tiny person at the Christmas tree lot. What? How sad. How sad. And that was just Christmas. Because I didn't only feel that way at Christmas. I felt that way year round, right? I was missing out on a lot of things because I didn't feel good. And look, Zoe, I'm in very much the same place. Like, I'm not running away from getting laid. Do I ever? But I'm running away from like going to events and parties. Like, I've been home. I'm like, let's go shopping. Let's like buy fun, cute outfits. And I'm like, I don't want to try anything on. I feel bad about myself. I feel gross. And it's like, I don't want to get new things and then it's like, well, if I get invited to something, I don't want to go because I don't have anything to wear, but I don't have anything to wear because I won't shop because I feel gross and blah, 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 blah. It's just this cycle. And it's like, that pings back to like me being jealous of my friend. It's like, oh, I'm watching someone do the thing that I couldn't do, right? But let me tell you something. I've been thin and I've been a butterball. And there has been not one difference in the amount of attention I got from dudes. I can catch a dick whenever I want. To quote Amy Schumer, her whole quote was, I'm 168 pounds and I can catch a dick whenever I want. I was like, yes, yes. And it's so true. Like, I was watching the Kardashians the other day. It was when they did their Calvin Klein thing. And Kylie, and it was such like she said it so quickly, I almost missed it. But of course I didn't, because I'm constantly thinking about my weight. So I'm attuned to everyone else's. She had her baby not so, like, I don't know, Stormy was like 6 months or something like that. And she's like, I'm still 158. And I was like, Kylie Jenner weighed 158? She looked phenomenal. She looked great. I mean, she was in like a bra and panties, like in a photo shoot. Like, she looked fine. And I'm like, nobody but her cares about the number on that scale. And the reason I can catch a dick at whatever weight I am is because of my attitude. And when I look back, it's like, well, why was I having so much more fun when I was thin? And it was literally because I decided to. I decided to. Like, the secret to being a hot girl is simply deciding that you are one. And I was like, I had hit some number. I had hit some dress size that I was like, now I am allowed to be happy. I am allowed to activate and be a confident person. So I'm going to go out and do that. The clothes I bought then, they still fit. Like, I'm not that different, like 10 pounds different, but like, and yet my whole attitude is different. My posture is different. The way I approach the world is different. That's what gaining weight is bad. That's the real cost of being, oops, sorry, my mic tipped over. That's the real cost of being fat, is like the emotional toll. So remind yourself of that and read the book Women, Food, and God, because it was really instrumental in like turning my point of view around in, like, with eating. It's like, it's not the food, girl. It's not the food. It's not the workouts. It's something within, and it's different for every one of us. And for me, I think like I keep myself just a little bit fatter than I want to be, because if I do reach my happy weight and I'm not 100% happy, which has absolutely happened, like I was my thinnest right after I got married and things were not going well, right? If I'm super thin and life isn't all sunshine and pom-poms, oh my God. And if I'm super thin and I meet a guy and he isn't obsessed with me, oh my God. So with this layer of fat over me, I can blame all of my problems on it. Well, the reason he didn't like me is because I'm fat, But if I'm thin and he doesn't like me, oh, he was rejecting the real me. Uh-oh. But that's crazy, you know? Queen Butterfly, men like a little thickness. You are absolutely right, girl. Like I said, I've hooked up with a lot of girls and I like them a little thick. Like I've hooked up with models and I'm like, there's a lot of angles here. Some dudes like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they like. It matters how you feel comfortable because anyone can catch a dick whenever they want. We have to stop acting like guys are picky about who they fuck. They're not. Like they're absolutely not. At all. Okay. Okay, Becca T, you said search. Let me see. I'm gonna see. I can't search on here. I can't search the comments. But if I've missed any of your comments and your questions, I'm gonna answer them like privately. I'll answer them on here. So don't like worry about that. Like I'll respond to them. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you weigh, it's your flexibility. That is so true. Like, you know what makes a girl good in bed? Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about what makes someone good in bed. Enthusiasm. And I was hanging out with my guy from high school, Adam, the other night. I feel like I've talked about him in like 3 videos now. It was a very like transformative hangout session, just hanging on our couch. But he was talking about sex, and Adam has just been like, he was like a god of high school, and he is still a god among men. Like he's adorable and so smart. Like chicks go berserk for him. I mean, all my friends did. There were some cat fights. But he was talking about sex, and he's like, I like not necessarily a dominant woman, but someone who knows what she wants and tells me. Because we were talking about how I always date younger guys. And the reason I do is because younger guys expect me to be very vocal about what I like, what I don't like, what I want them to do, what I don't want them to do. And so it gives me like this freedom to be very like open and honest in bed. And I mean, ostensibly, guys my own age like that, but I don't want to hook up with guys my own age. They're old and they're gross. Why would you pick a 31-year-old dude over a D1 athlete? Why would you? What kind of lunatic would do that? That's crazy. But you know, but do it because more D1 athletes for me. That's fine. Queen Butterfly, don't ask how old I am. I don't want to be. If Bruce can become Caitlyn, I can become 26 forever. Fight me on it. So Adam was saying that, yeah, he's like, that's what makes a girl good in bed is like somebody who tells me what she likes. He's like, and I feel like girls have this vibe of, I'm going to let him do whatever he wants. And if I like it, great. And if not, if I don't get off, that's fine too. And he's like, and guys don't want that. We're like Sims in the Sim universe, just sort of like sitting there like that, waiting to be sort of like activated and just to be like told what to do. Any kind of feedback is great. More of this, less of that. They love it, you know, because girls, they've done studies. The number one thing a girl stresses about in bed is her body. The number one thing a guy stresses about is his performance. And it's funny because I know you're thinking it's like his performance. It's not a performance. It's not like a Cirque du Soleil. It's a connection between two people. Aha. That's how he feels about your body, right? Guys hear that and they're like, her body. I'm already there. I'm already gang for this. Like, already shipping whatever's going on. Like Adam was like, I know what your body's gonna look like. Like it's I can see it already. I don't see it without the clothes, but like I have a pretty good approximation. And if I think you're too fat or too thin or whatever, I wouldn't even be in bed with you. We wouldn't even be making out. So by the time you're in bed, it's like, do it, girl. And like I said, I've hooked up with girls and like, I hooked up with a girl who like, she hated her thighs. She was pear-shaped and she like hated them. They're cellulite. They were delightful. It was just like a different fun sensation. It's like, oh, this part of her is really firm. She had really great arms. And this part of her is squishy. Cool. Great. What's the difference? Have you ever eaten just a whole bowl of chips? Wouldn't you like to have guacamole with those chips? Have some different textures, different flavors? Same in bed. Same in bed. You're never going to turn down a different texture. So all of this stuff is normal. All of this stuff is fine. Guys do not care. They want enthusiasm. And I think that's why I'm like good in bed because I'm enthusiastic and I'm very communicative and I'm very responsive. And like, you know, it's like, let's talk about it. Like, it's fun. Talking about sex is fun. That's what we all talk about anyway. It's what we all think about. So it's like, why when you're doing it, would you suddenly be like, we are not talking about this. Now it's inappropriate. Like, yo, it's game time. Like, this is when you talk about it. And if you're with someone who doesn't want to, that's a data point. It's like, okay, that's weird. I don't know that we need to keep doing this. I mean, I'm here, so we're going to finish. But like, if you don't want to, if it's like weird and icky for like dirty talk, like, okay, weird. How do you even make out? How do you make out? Okay, here's the perfect makeout. And I encourage you to watch the movie The A-Team, like with Jessica Biel and Bradley Cooper. It's one of my favorite movies. I watch it like once a week. I am obsessed with Quentin Rampage Jackson. Obsessed with him. Oh, I love that boy. But he plays Mr. T. He's the best. So at the very end of the movie, Bradley Cooper and Jessica Biel have a kiss, and it is the textbook perfect kiss. Textbook. So this is what you do. The perfect kiss is closed mouth kiss, head turn, tongues meet, okay? And you want to do the closed mouth kiss for 2 breaths. Okay, so 1 in, 1 out. So smooch. Then on the bottom of the second breath, you're going to turn your head, the mouths open and the tongues meet. Notice the verb there is meet. The tongues do not joust. The tongues do not scissor. The tongues do not fist bump. It's like this. It's like, ooh, a nice little slidey slide. Nice little slidey slide. Just a nice brush. The tongue should never meet the lips before the lips do. That's when you have a lizard kiss. Also, you should never have an open mouth kiss without tongue. That's a fish kiss. I had a guy like that I dated a long time ago. It was like kissing a pipe. I was like, oh, like, what is this? What? I had another guy kissed. He literally just like flopped his tongue in my mouth like it was a slug, did not move it at all. And I'm like, you have to move it around. So his version of that was like, it was just like a circle, like, ah, ah, ah. And I'm like, he was 30 years old. I was like, what? How? And you know what sucks is like, I feel like guys who are bad kissers, they almost get laid more because you're like, let's just stop kissing and start fucking. Like, let's just flip me over so I don't have to just, because sometimes you don't know they're a bad kisser until things are like underway. Ugh. Though a good way to fix a bad kisser is to, you want to do positive reinforcement, right? You know what I mean? You're a bad kisser. Like, that will fuck some up. That will mess someone up for the rest of their life. Like, that's why Kylie Jenner has all that plastic surgery, because her first kiss, the guy was like, oh, I didn't think you'd be a good kisser because you have such small lips. And she's like, just never got over that. And a lot of people have experiences like that where it's like, this is horrible. So the way you fix a bad kisser is, this is what I say. I was like, can I show you how I like to be kissed? And they're like, yeah. And then I kiss them, and I'm always on top because then you can control like how much pressure, like how deep the kiss is, whatever. And then kind of grab them like by the ears, like these are handles for making corrections, or grab them by the throat. It's hard to kiss if you're like throttling someone to death. And so that you can kind of like steer things around, And another good term to use is kiss me slowly. Slowly, because very few kisses cannot be made better just simply by slowing them down. A lot of times a bad kiss is so because it's like, but if you slow it down, like it's a lot sexier. No, there's no coffee bean stores in New York. There used to be, and then they moved them all to China. That seems fair. I'm out in California and I have like literally 5 of these a day. Don't worry, I refill the same cup because I am a sustainable queen. Ugh. Let's see. Okay. Ask me more sex questions. Let's talk about sex. Let's be weird. Let's be weird. Let's see. Green queen. I am green queen. Remember me from Howcast? Yeah. Do I plan to do more videos on Camila Cabello? I have one up today. But yes, I will, as long as those two keep acting bizarre, I will be here. Okay, how to dirty talk. All right. Dirty talk is difficult. it takes a long time. And I remember, like, talk about the Kylie Jenner, like, you know, her trauma of the lips. I had that with dirty talk. Like, I was talking about this guy in college, and I think I was on top or something. And I said, like, it was the most generic. It was like, ooh, baby, come on, finish or something. I was saying that because unbeknownst to me, the condom had like come off and was like rattling around. It was painful, you know? And I was just like, this needs to end. This is also a lesson for me. If sex hurts, you can end it. Just be like, sorry, hold on. It shouldn't hurt. We don't have to like endure something because, well, he's enjoying himself. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? Guys, guys have orgasms all the time. Always. The least we could do if we're not going to like insist on an orgasm, which we should, is like, okay, I at least insist on not being in actual pain. Okay? If I can't be in a lot of pleasure, I'm not going to be in pain. No. But I said just like something, you know, generic, and he laughed. He burst out laughing. I was livid. I could see through time. I was so angry. And I was so hurt and so embarrassed. And I didn't dirty talk like forever. And when I did, I was like, boobs. Like, I couldn't. I was just, what? But look, you have to decide what you're comfortable with. I like swear a lot, I feel like, on these videos, but actually in bed, I don't. I'm a freak in the street and a lady in the sheets. Great. Lucky guys. But like, I don't say, see, like, I don't like it. I don't know. And so, I like more PG-13 things, but then I think it's cool if you can get a guy really like riled up by not being like, pussy, fuck my pussy. Like, it's just not me. So it's like, you know, you have to just decide what's good for you and read some erotica. Read some, because there's a lot of good ideas in there. Don't read fan fiction. Did you guys like today on the Shawn Mendes video when I had the fan fiction samples up there? Oh my God. After I filmed that video, I stayed up and read some of them. I'm like, these are so dreadful. I'm gonna start crying, laughing so hard again. But like, I realized though that my ultimate goal in my career is to have someone make weird fan fiction about me. That's so sad. Because like, it's mostly sad because it's not gonna happen, but it's also sad that this is how high I've set the bar. There's a whole bad fan fiction on Instagram. Please tag me on that. Please, please tag me on this. I need it. I need to be part of it. So, what were we talking about? Fan fiction, being on top. Oh, dirty talk. Yeah, so read erotica and, you know, get some ideas and then just like slowly incorporate it. And an easy way to incorporate dirty talk is through feedback. Be like, oh, I love it when you blank my blank. Make it like a Mad Lib. You know, when you blank my blank, when you put your blank on my blank, when you adjective on my noun, and just kind of ease it and test the waters. And if he comes back with something like crazy, don't be like, that's crazy. But just, you don't have to respond in kind. Everyone has their own dirty talk and people say what they kind of respond well to, and that's okay. But I've learned that when you say something like really good, their response is going to be nothing at all. They're like, oh. It's like, because when guys say something like really naughty to me, I'm like, oh. I'm just like stunned, like an electric eel stung me, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to say. Or I'll come back with like, yeah. Like my brain just locks up. So if you say something he doesn't have a response, that's not bad. Like that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It doesn't need to be like a tit for tat dialogue. Tit for tat, you know? Oh, role playing. Okay. This will be our last question because I cut us off at an hour. Role playing. Role playing is fun. And the question here is like, it can be really fun or really embarrassing and you laugh the whole time. That's true. I don't know anyone who actually does role play who doesn't laugh. It's supposed to be fun, you know? And that's okay. And it's not like you're breaking character. Kevin, you're breaking the fourth wall. Like, you're not gonna get an Emmy nomination for this. So just enjoy yourself. And role playing typically also doesn't last for like 45 minutes. Like it's kind of just in like short bursts. Like if you're in bed, it's like, call me Hailey, you know? And it'll be like, oh, hi Hailey. Be like, I'm the shy, I just transferred here. I was homeschooled. I can't believe the popular lacrosse player is talking to me. Just like make it up and see if he like just jumps in and is gang for it. It's like, yeah, I'm Brayden. I'm the bad boy around here. And it can be funny. It can be funny the first few times you do it, but then you're kind of going to like refine the storyline a little bit. And then you're going to jump back into it and like Hailey and Brayden might have a different kind of interaction. So don't think like real life sex is not porn sex. Like nobody laughs in porn. It's all like they're serious. And it's like, ugh. There's a reason people watch porn for like 30 seconds. And the reason why it's like kind of weird and gross. I mean, it's not gross, but it's just like it's not real life. It's not realistic. It's like you don't watch a cooking show and be like, well, that's exactly how I have to cook, like Emerald and Jada. You're like, no, mine's gonna look different. It's gonna look way different. It's gonna be more casual, more fun, less perfect, less intense. Sex is the same way. So give yourself some leeway. And if somebody doesn't respond well, then you don't have to keep hooking up with them and you don't have to dial down what you think is fun to like meet their weird standards. But also give them some leeway because you might be like at a 10, like ready to do something, and they might just be like, oh, I didn't know you want to do that. Okay, like now they're at a 1. So like give people time to catch up and like talk about things, when you're not hooking up. Also, 2 good shows to watch because I really believe that like the basis of good sex is communication. Like I said, it's fun to talk about it all the time. Watch a show, Gigolos. You can get it on demand on Showtime. It's literally about gigolos and they're really funny and the sex they have is funny, but it's like real. And it's always in just the most full-on lighting, just the brightest of midday lighting. I'm like, nobody's body can hold that scrutiny. It's so much surface area. But like it's my ex-boyfriend and I would watch it and then like talk about it and it would always lead to like really fun hookups. It's like, do you like that? Like blah, blah, blah. And so I think that really like laid the foundation for a really good sex life. Another show to watch is one called, I think, Polyamory. Yeah, it might also be on Showtime. Man, they were just going for it. And it's about polyamory and couples who like wife swap basically or in open relationships. And it's wild because it starts out and everyone's like, we love this lifestyle. It's perfect for us. And then like literally the entire series is about how it's very much not perfect and it's actually ruining everyone's lives. It's amazing. But they have a ton of sex and it really just brings up a lot of like stuff to talk about. And so like you learn so much in this neutral, non-pushy environment where you're using these other people as the vehicle to disseminate information, and that really will bring you closer and it'll give you more of an idea of stuff like that you like and whatever. All right, guys, I hope this was fun. Please keep donating. And if we have a whole bunch more questions that we get in the next, like the rest of the week, I will 100% do another live stream. And please join me for the rest of December for Vlogmas. I'm going to try, I think we're going to do it, to do a video every day through December. And so I'm always open to your suggestions. And like I said, this live stream is going to live on my channel. I will do BJ tips. I will do a whole live stream on BJ tips, but I'm trying to keep it kind of PG because otherwise YouTube, like, it's very testy. Okay, so we're not at 5,000 yet, but I bet we will get to 5,000 by the end of the week. I bet we could get to 5,000 by like Thursday. I bet we could do it. It's going to be great. So if you guys have another love question you want to submit, like I said, go to the GoFundMe. I'm going to put the link right here in the bio when I post this in a few minutes. And then $25 gets you a question answered. And if you want to shop some of my merch, enjoy them, destroy them, head over to my website, shallonlester.com. And also, please follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO, where I let you guys tag me in things. Like, so much of my video ideas comes from stuff you guys have tagged me in. It's amazing. I really enjoy connecting with you guys that way. And be sure to listen to my podcast, Girl on Top, out every Wednesday. See you later, Shalloners. Mwah!